Well, the deal has been described as a one-in, one-out policy, and what that means is around 50 migrants per week will be returned from the UK back to France. So Keir Starmer said today they would be initially detained and they'd be sent immediately back to France in short order. In return, France will send 50 migrants the other way from France to the UK. Now, the difference is the migrants coming from France to the UK will already have been vetted. We will know who they are, we will know who they come from, and more importantly, they will have family or support already in place in the UK. This will mean that we will no longer need these migrant hotels, which have caused such consternation in Britain over the last few years as they've sprung up in towns and villages across the country, causing all sorts of social problems in communities. All of that will eventually be phased out under this deal. There is, of course, several issues here. So Keir Starmer said that it's not a silver bullet. For instance, will this be a legal agreement? Will the EU agree to this? Will it still be legal under the UN Convention for Refugees, which states very clearly that if a refugee arrives on your shore, the country has a moral responsibility to look after them. It's now their responsibility. So this flies in the face of that a little. And then, of course, we're expecting all sorts of legal challenges with the European Court of Human Rights. We saw endless challenges before when the previous British government was trying to get the Rwanda scheme off the ground. We certainly will expect more than that. So Keir Starmer addressed the issue of why only 50 and basically said, well, it is a deterrent. It does mean that the gangs will realise, and people making that crossing will realise, that some of them, 1 in 17 in fact, will be sent home. He thinks that that will be a deterrent, and of course the deal will start off on this pilot scheme of 50, but it should increase gradually. Emmanuel Macron, the French president, also talked about the cooperation between the two countries when it comes to security, when it comes to Ukraine. He talked about cooperation on rebuilding our nuclear arsenal for both countries, also for all sorts of cooperation with AI, with technology as well, with cyberspace, with space too, and with misinformation. It's being seen as a huge attack, an aggressive attack, Sir Keir Starmer said, on terrorist organisations, on the small boats that are the gangs that are bringing those small boats across the English Channel, and of course all sorts of threats and cyber threats that both countries face. It's been regarded today as a deal that really cements the relationship between the EU's two nuclear powers, Britain and France, a relationship that they think will become ever more important as threats from abroad grow ever stronger.